Hey yo, what up? It's your boy. I love me my music, and I feel that regardless of what country you are from, every country has a plentiful heap of great music. But unfortunately, a lot of it kind of goes unnoticed. And I feel that also majority of the world listens to a lot of like American music, British music, which is all great. I mean, all of that is freaking awesome. But sometimes I gotta give some love to the country that I'm from as well. So today I thought I would show you guys 10 Australian bands or musical acts that you should give a listen, because I feel that these are 10 bands that don't get as much love as I hope that they should get. And also I feel a lot of it just kind of goes under the radar because people don't know where to start. Now, just as a forewarning, before we jump into this, I am going to be taking out all the obvious ones that everybody freaking knows. Tame Impala, AC/DC, you know, all the ones that have kind of made it across the ocean in one way or another. Granted, there are tons of Australian bands that have made it over the pond that are absolutely incredible. I love me my AC/DC, Tame Impala, Midnight Oil, INXS, all those bands. But today I'm going to be showing you guys 10 bands which hopefully the majority of you guys have never heard of and will maybe give it a listen, because I love all 10 of these acts, and I think you guys should give them a listen if you want to find some great new Aussie music. So let's start off this list with probably one of the most infamous acts to come out of Australia, and that is of course King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Amazing band name, I don't care what anyone says, and these guys are considered like, I guess, the psychedelic prog rock kings of the 21st century. Their music is as weird as their band name sounds, and they really, I feel, are responsible for bringing in a massive wave, along with Tame Impala, a massive wave of psych rock, kind of more out of the underground into a more mainstream scene, at least in Australia anyway. I know there's probably a ton of you guys who are into the whole psych rock scene that have definitely heard of King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard and given a couple of their albums a listen, but there is a ton of music that is to come out from these guys. I mean, in 2019, I believe they released 5 studio albums in an entire year, and they're all amazing. They're just consistently cranking out these really imaginative, new, exciting fusions of psychedelic rock and a bunch of other genres. I mean, one of my favorite albums from theirs is Infest the Rat's Nest, which is this amazing blend of metal, like actual like speed metal with psychedelic rock. I know it sounds weird as hell, and it is, but it is freaking hype. And obviously there are so many albums from these guys, it's really hard to recommend one. If you want like some of the more classic stuff, then like Nonagon Infinity is freaking amazing. I'm in Your Mind Fuzz is also an amazing album. But some of their recent stuff as well has been really good. Laminated Denim is one of my personal favorites. Let's just say that once you step into the rabbit hole of King Giz, it is going to be very difficult to crawl out of. Second band I want to give some love to is The Chats. Now, if you think, wow, these guys look really freaking Australian, that's because they are. You know, a lot of people have said, why do Australian bands not sound Australian when they sing in songs? And The Chats took that concept and went, bet. Because if you give The Chats one listen, then you will immediately know these guys are the most ochre band out there right now. I mean, some of, you know, like Smoko, for instance, or Pub Feed, these are just a couple of tracks that just are so brimming with Australian culture, and it's almost painful how Australian these guys are. But if you love yourself some good old-fashioned skate punk, just some straight up hardcore punk in the 21st century, then The Chats fucking kill it. And honestly, if you're an Aussie listening to The Chats, you will almost kind of cringe in a good way at just how Australian these guys are and just how much they put into light the real, I guess, bogan side of the Australian world that a lot of us want to shy our eyes away from. Third band I want to give some love to is Clowns. Now, regardless of their name, these guys are not fucking clowning around. If The Chats are more of like a kind of uppity, fun, poppy skate punk, then Clowns go hard, especially in their first couple of albums. Some of their recent stuff has kind of toned it down a little bit when it comes to the hardcore side of things, but they are still punk as fuck. My personal favorite album of theirs is Bad Blood, I think from 2015. Every single song on that track is fucking banger and hype. If I want to listen to something that gets me excited for the day to come and really like pumps me up regardless of what I'm doing, then yeah, Bad Blood is absolute beauty when it comes to hardcore punk, modern hardcore punk, which I feel Australian bands do quite a pretty good job of bringing back. I haven't included it in this list, but Amyl and the Sniffers as well is a recent hardcore punk band that is just kind of keeping the hardcore scene alive, which, I feel other countries are doing it too, but I think Australians are doing it better, no bias. My favorite song from theirs is Euthanize Me, fucking killer, but honestly, everything from their Bad Blood album is absolutely gold when it comes to punk standards. Fourth act I want to shout out is Radio Birdman. Now these guys are a little bit of an older school vibe. They've been around, I believe, in the 70s and 80s, and they're more kind of, I guess, like a classic rock sound, but man, they also throw in some punk. I mean, their cover of TVI by Iggy and the Stooges is so hard. I mean, like, if you thought the Iggy and the Stooges version of the song was hard, these guys, like, crank the speed up, and it's so fucking intense. It's so good. Also, when I was in high school, I really fought with myself and my Asian mother to stop myself from getting a tattoo of their logo because it looks sick as fuck. But yeah, honestly, like, every Radio Birdman album is fucking awesome, and I feel these guys kind of were outshone by a lot of other classic rock bands that came out during the similar time, like AC/DC and another band, which I will show you guys at the end of this list. But please, if you love your classic rock, just your good old classic Iggy and the Stooges, AC/DC style classic rock, then please give these guys a listen. They are so good. Also, a lot of their like surf rock tracks will, I think, attract a lot of like Ramones fans. So yeah, give these guys a listen. They are fucking awesome. Fifth band I want to shout out is a band that probably has one of my favorite band names, and that is the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Every time I say that band name out loud, I just have to laugh, but these guys, regardless of their ridiculous name, they do not live down their name of being psychedelic. These guys are psych as fuck, and it is so good. Their High Visceral Part 1 album is absolutely incredible. It starts off with this track called Cornflake, and it has one of the nastiest guitar riffs that I have heard in a long time. It is such a banger start to such a banger album, and honestly, like, their other stuff as well is really good. High Visceral Part 2 is also a really good album from theirs, but like, again, if you like your kind of more like psyche style, similar to King Gizzard, but you wanted a little more in like a hard rocker feel, and it's one that doesn't take itself seriously, even though King Gizzard also don't take themselves seriously, but these guys just have a lot of fun playing around with the psych sound, but in a more modern twist, I would say. Not a bad album from them either. I love all of them, but if I had to recommend an album, High Visceral Part 1 is a great start. I think lots of bangers, lots of psych bangers on there. Absolutely recommend it. Another psych band which also has equally as amazing of a band name is, of course, Tropical Fuckstorm. like people who don't listen to a lot of music are probably just looking at these and being like, Joey, these aren't real band names, but yes, they are. And Australia doesn't fuck around with amazingly, just instantly recognizable band names as well. I mean, like, once you hear the name Tropical Fuckstorm, you're not going to forget that band name. And these guys as well are absolutely incredible psych, incredible, just like good old psych rock. Majority of them, except for the lead singer here, is all female, so hey man, you gotta love it when chicks are rocking out as well. My favorite track of theirs is You Let Your Tires Down, but honestly, that entire album is freaking amazing. Again, if you love your good old-fashioned psych, and you're probably wondering, Joey, why is there so much psychedelic rock out there? I don't know. It's because Australia does psych rock the best, in my opinion. Like, we're on drugs most of the time, let's just say that. Let's give a shout out as well to this next band, Pond, who a lot of people think and get confused with the likes of Tame Impala, and that is definitely not a coincidence, because these guys have a very, very close tie with Kevin Parker from Tame Impala. They're very, very good friends, and I think they're actually from the same part of Australia, Perth, where Tame Impala is from. But if you love your Tame Impala, you are going to freaking love Pond. And I feel that it's really unfortunate that Pond doesn't get as much love as Tame Impala, because I think in terms of like the quality of the music that comes out, and just like not only the psych side of things, but also just like, the fun uppity feel of just like the feel good type of psych music. I think Pond does a really fucking good job of providing that. My personal favorite track of theirs is Whatever Happened to the Million Head Collide, which again is the opening track to that album, and it it is a fucking banger. Banger breakdown that they have in the middle. Just amazing guitar tones and amazing guitar sounds, and I heavily recommend it again if you are a massive fan of Tame Impala. Moving on to the next one, we have something a little more subtle, a little more quiet, a little more on the post-rock side, if there are any fans of post-rock. This is Sleep Makes Waves. They are an Australian post-rock band, and for those of you who don't know post-rock, it's kind of like shoegaze, instrumental, music that makes you feel good, but doesn't necessarily have to rely on lyrics to make you feel good. You know, think of like the most inspirational YouTube video that you've seen, and the soundtrack that is paired with the majority of the time, and you mostly have post-rock, but these guys absolutely killer as well. Love of Cartography is a great fucking album from theirs, but I would say my personal favorite album is And So We Destroyed Everything, which has one of the most beautiful opening tracks. I think it was To You They Are Birds, I believe is the name of the opening track, which is absolutely gorgeous. Uses like a lot of like violin sounds and real like kind of bringing it up and down in terms of the feel and the vibe, and really puts you on a journey. If there's music that really puts you on this like kind of inner journey while listening to it, then post-rock is probably the best genre for it, and Sleep Makes Waves is a fantastic post-rock band from Down Under, so give them a listen. Second to last one, let's give some hip-hop heads some love. This is Hilltop Hoods, probably one of the most, I guess, well-known Australian hip-hop acts. Now, granted, they don't have the most perfect discography, but in terms of the hip-hop side of things in Australia, which admittedly I am not too deep into, you know, like I've listened to like Bliss and Esso and, you know, a bunch of other hip hop acts, but I think out of the few that I have listened to from Australia, I would say Hilltop Hoods is probably still one of my favorite acts. Their recent stuff is kind of but their early stuff is fucking banger. Nosebleed Section is still a banger track. This is another example of like Australians sounding Australian. Like, you know, you will hear that Australian accent in these guys' rapping, and honestly, like the beat selection for the most part is pretty banger. If you want to have a little bit of taste of what Australia has to offer in terms of the hip-hop style music, then I would give Hilltop Hoods a listen. And finally, I would love to give some love to The Angels. Now, Australians will know about The Angels, or maybe you won't, because I feel these guys, again, were another example of a band that were very much outshined, like Radio Birdman, by acts like AC/DC. And it's funny because my dad actually saw The Angels open for AC/DC one time, and everybody in that concert agreed that the Angels performed better than AC/DC. Now, again, that's just my dad's opinion, but as someone who has listened to the entirety of the Angels discography, I will say if you love your AC/DC, you love that kind of classic rock vibe, then these guys do it so fucking good. Doc Neeson, who is the lead singer there in the middle, has just one of the most recognizable and unique and just like badass voices is the only way I can describe it, really. It's just like a really feel-good classic rock vibe with a little bit of like blues and even almost like a bluegrass feel thrown into some of their tracks as well. But man, the self-titled debut album is just banger after banger after banger after banger. And obviously they do have some like big hits in Australia, like Take the Long Line and I'm Never Gonna See Your Face Again. If you're a fan of like AC/DC and some of the more classic rock stuff, then definitely give Angels a vibe and a spin, because you guys will freaking love this, and I feel the Angels don't get enough love even amongst the Australian rock scene. But yeah, there you go. That was just a short little video where I wanted to give some of my Australians some love. Let me know down in the comments below how many you have listened to, which ones you like, and if I missed out on any, then let me know your opinions on any that I missed down in the comments below. And hey, if you guys like this video as well of just like me recommending different bands, then leave a like on this video so I know that you guys actually care about my musical opinions. And obviously these aren't all the underground acts from Australia that are great. I had to cut out a lot of great Australian acts from this list just to keep this video short and concise. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right there to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger, and over here next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one, and links to my social media as well as my YouTube, TikTok Shorts, as well as my Patreon to support me directly is all down in the description below, and I will see you all in the next one. Rock on, Australia. Peace.